Jacksonville. Tornado warning, folks. If you live in the eastern part of Pulaski County, if you live in Lonoke County, this is in effect until 6:45 tonight. Get to your safe place. Make sure you've got something to put over your head and just ride it out. You can listen to us on your phone or you can turn the TV up all the way. We're going to track it. We're going to keep an eye on it. Nathan, why don't we take a look at what it appears like on our NROT tool on Storm Track 11 to see if we can pick up a better area of rotation. Certainly some strong winds with this system. And you can pull Nathan's mic up on this as well. Thank you. Here's Jacksonville. And this is our live winds mode from Storm Track 11. But what about NROT? We're going to get, he's getting to that, I believe. I'll give him just a second for that. Here we go. So if there is something occurring, again, here's Jacksonville. This is 67, 167, and 40 leading into it. It would be in this general area. And it's not really that impressive in terms of what we're looking at here, but
it's a wall of wind, Tom.
Just a lot of wind.
That is a wall of wind because we are right next to the radar dome. So that wind is verifying at the surface that we're seeing winds of 65 to 75 miles per hour. I'm not seeing much rotation.
Yeah.
If you look at the National Weather Service chat, they said they may have had a spotter say there was rotation on the warned storm. This is not confirmed by any means, but
sure.
I mean, when you have winds of 65, 75 miles per hour, and there could be a rotation of winds 80, 85 miles per hour, it's kind of just mixed in the mess for the most part. It is very nasty winds now moving through parts of Pulaski County about to approach Jacksonville.
And that's very close to the National Weather Service. You mentioned that's really close to where the radar is located. Here's Sherwood. There's the National Weather Service. So they're reporting that this possible tornado, this area of wind, was moving right over the top of the Weather Service at North Little Rock Airport. And it's traveling along 67, 167. And that's the road, of course, most folks that travel toward Cabot and Searcy, that's the road they take to go home. And here it is, 6:03. We're on the back end of the rush, and I would imagine with the torrential rainfall that is occurring outside and the wind, then you've got all kinds of issues out there on the roadways. Let's go back to Max 1 in our live wind mode, and this really gives you an idea. Whenever we see these colors, gosh, you relate it to the legend up here, winds of 80 miles per hour possibly blowing away from radar. So the winds blowing away could be as high as 80 plus, and that's off the ground a few 100,000 or 2,000 feet. But you get the point. There's a lot of wind here. Again, the roadways, here's 440, 67, 167, and that's this road right here. There's McCain Mall, McCain Boulevard. That's 67. So right now it looks as if it's, if there's anything here, it's traveling between 440 and 67, 167. Tornado warning till 6:45 tonight. Along with that, numerous counties under severe thunderstorm warnings, and that does include Pulaski County as this strong line of winds moves through the central part of the state. Nathan?
On Storm Track 11, I've got iDrive Arkansas camera shot. This is just southwest of Jacksonville. You can see traffic is pretty much at a standstill in some parts of the lanes. Heavy rain and some very gusty winds rolling through that part of Pulaski County. This is going to be headed towards BB and also Ward. So get ready because you've got a wall of wind headed in your direction, and it could be 65 to 75 miles per hour. We've seen power outages start to add up here into Pulaski County. My wife called me, said the power has been lost in our part of Little Rock, and I think it's almost about 3,000 or 4,000 customers now without power in Pulaski County. With winds like this, more people are going to lose power out there today.
And there may have been a drop in CC. There may have been some debris detected, Nathan. Just wanted to let you know that they're talking about that at the National Weather Service. It may have been just briefly as it moved across Sherwood along 67, 167. And that's what we're talking about. There's iDrive Arkansas. Let's take a look at this. And again, there's It's McCain, right? McCain Boulevard?
Redmond Road.
I'm sorry, 60, I'm sorry, which one?
Redmond Road.
Redmond Road, okay. Redmond Road, 67-167. This is northbound, so we're looking back toward the Little Rock area. So some very heavy rain and the possibility of, if there is a tornado, it's going to be wrapped in rain. If there is, it looks like a big, like Nathan said a moment ago, just a big broadened out area of some very strong winds now moving through the Jacksonville, town of Jacksonville, just of course northeast of Little Rock, and there is 67. And there you go. That would pinpoint where the possible rotation would be. You can kind of see the little inflow, the little kink here, and that's where the rotation might wind up. So it's over downtown Jacksonville. They got a lot of construction going on, a lot of vehicles here as well. Gentlemen up in the booth, Chris, if you're up there, would you pull up some cameras shots, 67-167, that Nathan and I can bounce off of in Jacksonville or near Jacksonville, looking toward Cabot or even back toward Jacksonville. Let's find out if we had a little tornado debris signature with this, a little
I was looking at this
CC.
earlier, and I think what they're referring to is maybe that
Right
near
there?
Sherwood, but it's hard because it's kind of mixed in with other data. So we can't clearly say that
Yeah.
is a tornado picking up debris around Sherwood, but there was a dropout in the CC.
Yeah, it would be right in here, and that follows up this way. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it. Let's take a look at Keel Avenue and see what's happening there. We might get a good shot of what's going on traffic-wise, and luckily not a whole lot of traffic there. Thank you for showing that. Very heavy rain, some very strong wind gusts. Let's go back to what Nathan was showing us. Live winds on max 1 if we can. We can give a better perspective of where some strong winds now. This matches up with what we were looking at rotation-wise. The Jacksonville Walmart, 67-167. If this continues on the path, then you folks that live in Cabot are going to be impacted by this. 70-plus mile-per-hour winds, Nathan. Strong winds moved through downtown Little Rock not long ago as well.
Yeah, they did. And you see this, the strong winds are outside of the tornado warning, but this entire area is under a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning in this part of Pulaski County, Lono County, you're going to get socked with a pretty good punch of some high winds that could bring down tree limbs, that could bring down trees. And if there is a tornado, it's going to be rain wrapped. There's a tornado warning, and I'm just going to get rid of everything else and just focus on the tornado warning right now, Tom.
Yeah, and this is very familiar with this area. There's Jacksonville right here. You got the Air Force Base on this area of the Polygon, Macon, Warsaw. Here's Cabot. Up the street, there's Ward. You've got Beebe even farther to the north in White County. And the Polygon extends over a little farther to the east. It does cover up Pulaski, Lone Oak, White, and just a small sliver of prairie. But I think the main concern is going to be along 67. A lot of traffic out there tonight from Jacksonville, Cabot, up to Ward. If there is a tornado, it will be a brief one, and it might cause a little damage. This is not the type of atmosphere that we're dealing with those long track ones, but there has been some tightening up on the leading edge of this thunderstorm line, and it's getting a little bit closer. Here's Cabot, and the area of concern would be right here on the southern part of that Polygon. I know where the Walmart is along 67. This would be to the east and across 67, 167, 161. There's Holland Bottoms, the area that's in Cabot. There's Kerr Station. This is going to track on the south side. If it continues to hold together, would track on the south side of Cabot. I would say Kerr Station Road south, Highway 89. You've got Mount Tabor Road. This is going to be to the south of Mount Tabor if it continues that track. And there's the leading edge of the strongest winds. So if you live in Cabot, you know what we're talking about here. There's the Southwood Edition, if you know where that's located, Mount Tabor Road, Kerr Station Road, Highway 5. That's where this is traveling as it leaves Jacksonville. And again, it's going to tighten up, it's going to weaken, and possibly tighten up again.
I'm waiting for this data to come in, and you see there was a little rotation right there near Jacksonville, and then a little more rotation near Rixey.
Rixey Road.
And around the Walmart's area of Interstate 40 and Highway 67.
That is in North Little Rock. You've got the lakes over Park Hill area, the lakes. You've got Walmart along, that's McCain Boulevard is what I'm trying to say, McCain Boulevard. Jacksonville, the Walmart is on the north side of 161, and that's where the rotation location is located. You travel into Lonoke County. You're getting up close to a little community, Parnell community, but this is around 321, Highway 31, the south side of Cabot, if it continues this path. There's Kerr Station Road, being familiar with Kerr Station Road and Highway 89. If my mom and dad are watching right now, this is going to get awfully close for comfort because they live on the south side of Cabot, near the campground area, Mount Tabor Road, Countrywood, Linda Lane, those areas, and also Mount Tabor Road. You travel Mount Carmel Road, that's 321, and there's Kerr Station. 321 there at the light, that's where this rotation is headed. Not seeing anything confirmed touchdown, but we may have had a brief encounter with it as it moved over Sherwood earlier this evening around news time.
Go back over Storm Track 11 now, please, because we're going to take a look at the NROT tool. This is not the current. That was just a few scans ago, but I'm going to advance this here, and you see that splotch of green, it really disappears.
Okay,
so that's the current right there.
Okay.
We're not seeing any real rotation being picked up on this particular tool, Tom.
Okay, that's certainly good news. Going through a period where it's cycling in and out, where it strengthens, it tightens up, and it weakens. These are not going to last very long, but they're enough to scare you. So just make sure you're in your safe place. Make sure that you've got things ready to go. Tornado warning continues for White Prairie, Pulaski, and Lonoke County. And again, we're talking about the area that's east of Jacksonville, southern part of Cabot, and this will track, let's say, northeastward, getting close to BB eventually, if it holds together. But as Nathan was showing, thank you, Nathan, and NROT tool is showing that it has come undone. It's not as tightly wound up as it was. And there's Polygon. We'll watch over the last 30 minutes or so. And since it was so close to the National Weather Service, Nathan, it was very difficult to pick up, a tight couplet, but we knew that we had some very strong wind gusts there.
Yes, Tom, I don't know what that sound was. Did you hear that?
What was that, the door closing?
Maybe, I don't know. But it seems like the worst of the weather is moving through that part of Pulaski County and Lonoke County. This is continuing to push off to the east and northeast. We are kind of losing a little bit of those brighter colors, but still, this is a wall of wind moving through Lonoke County. So Cabot, Lonoke, Keogh, get ready because that wind is headed your direction. Also England, I'm getting wind about 700 feet above the surface, easily 50 to 60 miles per hour. And that's why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, Tom. Yeah,
the severe thunderstorm warning, anything north of 58 miles per hour is going to get a warning, a severe thunderstorm warning tag. Of course, the other aspect is getting quarter-sized hail. But tonight, it's this line moving through that could produce some very strong and damaging winds. You can hear that we have a thunderstorm overhead. You got the thunder here. This is the only tornado warned storm, and this is the first one in quite a while as that line moved into central Arkansas. So it may be tapping into a little better ingredient parameter for producing tornadoes. Okay, they just canceled the warning. Okay, tornado warning for northeastern Prairie, Lonoke, White, and Pulaski is being canceled. So there you go. That is certainly some good news. But the wind, strong winds.
Yeah, we'll go back over to Max 1 now, where you see those oranges really popping up. That's strong wind. You look at the legend, Tom.
Yep, strong wind gusts.
Easily 50, 60, maybe pockets of 70 mile per hour winds. And that's just straight line winds, but that can still bring down tree limbs, tree branches, and cause power outages.
And it's very likely, as the storm tracks to the northeast, it could tighten up once again. May not be done, but right now we're just seeing a lot of gusty winds with this storm. Earlier this evening, Nathan had the foresight to get our folks to record the storm as it was moving into Little Rock. Chris, I'm going to task you with getting that video from Mr. Bland next door so we can share that with folks and the storm as it moved through Little Rock. and the shelf cloud out in front. We'll do that here in just a few minutes when we quieten things down. It is 6:15. We're currently in the middle of the newscast. Have Faith and Rolly come back in? Are they joining us at the desk?
They're here.
They're there? Okay, just wanted to make sure you didn't leave Nathan and I all alone. Flood warnings are in effect now. Flash flood warnings remain in effect right now. Let me cover this before we take a quick break. Till 8:30 for the area south of Little Rock, also 8:30 for Pulaski County and southern Faulkner County. I think we're going to move away real quick. Nathan is here, I'm here. We're going to take a quick break, come back with a little more news and weather. We'll be right back.